Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Chyill and today let's talk about 5 Battlerite beginner tips that may be helpful to improving your game. Stay tuned. My first tip for you today is to learn all the champions as much as you can. As you may already know, the core gameplay of Battlerite revolves around the interaction between all the champions. And so all other skills like last hitting, creep pulling, managing money, that are found in other games are absolutely not essential here. Typically, the outcome of matches really just comes down to how well you know the abilities of all the champions in the match. For example, what they do, what's their cooldown, and stuff like that. And so good players often try to keep track of the abilities that enemies have used, as well as the cooldowns, to have an advantage over the enemies. As important it is to know all the champions and what they can do, don't expect to learn all of it right away. It's obviously physically impossible to memorize and remember all of it right away unless you're some genius or something. All of this will come naturally as you play or even when you practice with some heroes in practice mode. So my recommendation is to master 3 or 4 of the heroes, but learn as much as you can about the others whenever you're free. Just keep playing and practicing, and the better you'll be at keeping track of the enemy's abilities, and you'll be one step closer to being a better player. Moving on, my second tip for you today are just some extra things that were not explained very well in the tutorial. These include the healing cap, the orbs in the maps, as well as EX abilities. First off, the healing cap. If you've played any support heroes in Battlerite before, you'll realize that you can't heal past the healing cap. The black portion of the health bar represents the amount of healing that you can receive from support players. The support player can try to heal and heal and heal, but it can never go past that black portion of the bar. And this is really just to prevent turtle strategies from happening, where players can pick one or more support heroes and try to outlast the enemies by healing and healing and healing, and just never dying. And because of this healing cap, you don't always have to target the support first, since there's only a maximum that you can heal to anyways. Occasionally, it might even be better to target the melee or the range hero first, as they might be doing too much damage to you otherwise. And moving on to all the orbs that are found in all the maps. These orbs serve as a map objective. The big orbs that occasionally spawn in the middle of the map gives large amounts of health and energy to the team that last hits it. So therefore it is actually quite important to have map control, or specifically the control of the center portion of the map, because the bonuses from the large orb is sometimes vital to winning the enemy team. The small orbs, as insignificant as they may look as compared to the big orbs, are arguably almost just as important as the big orbs. The small orange orbs gives a little bit of energy towards your ultimate, and the green ones heal you. The green ones actually can heal past the healing cap that supports can't heal past, and so it is sometimes important to obtain those green orbs when you absolutely need them. If one of the teammates have died, don't forget to pick up the orb that they drop as well, as this will help you to charge up your ultimate. This serves as a mini comeback mechanic for the team that has lost one of their players. Another thing that the tutorial didn't mention are EX abilities. These EX abilities are powerful abilities, and every champion has 2 of them. They typically cost 25 energy, or some actually cost 50 energy, and each EX ability usually changes one of your champion's base ability in a unique way. For example, Jade's default right click ability is a snipe ability with a channeled duration, and it stuns and damages the enemies. Holding shift down while pressing right click as Jade will allow you to use the EX version of the ability, where it will remove the cast duration but allow you to shoot immediately and root enemies in place instead of stunning them. Holding shift down and pressing Q as Jade will not only allow you to stealth yourself, but also all the allies around you, and it can sometimes be quite helpful. As these EX abilities cost energy to use, they are not quite spammable, but it is worth to at least know a little bit of these EX abilities, especially for the heroes that you are maining, as they can sometimes be quite powerful in the right situations. If you are not quite comfortable holding shift down to activate your EX abilities, pressing buttons 1 or 2 will also work just as well, because you can think of them as separate abilities with separate effects. The third tip I have for you today are just some general combat tips that might be helpful. In Battlerite, there are a few champions that have counters or reflex skills that you should be extra careful about. Champions like Shifu, Freya or Pearl have counter abilities where you have to be very careful not to hit them when they're countering. Abilities that can reflect projectiles back towards you, like Bako's Bulwark ability, is highly dangerous and you should be mindful of it at all times. A good trick to countering the ability is to aim the projectile away from him when you see him using the ability, or you can interrupt your own spell cast, making him think that you're about to shoot him but actually you're not. and so wasting his ability, and then shoot at him again after that. By default, you can interrupt your spellcast by pressing C. Interrupting your spellcast is not only good for dealing with Bako, but it could also be used to play mind games on your opponent, making them move in a way that is disadvantageous to them. In all of these arena brawler games, positioning is a very important factor in combat, and so it is useful to know of the concepts of influence range and critical range and their effects on your positioning. These concepts were already covered in detail by Zenitsky in his article on Battlecrank.com, and there will be a link to it in the description. I found that it was a very helpful article. It took me about 10 to 15 minutes to read through it, and after reading the article, you'll know why is it so important to know all the heroes and what they can do and how long their cooldowns are, because this will greatly affect your positioning in the game, and often bad positioning means you're highly likely to die. So be sure to read the article when you're free because it's really useful. Tip number 4 is to adapt your Battlerites to your enemy's playstyle. It is often a good idea to constantly be asking yourself questions when you're playing the game, like whether should I do this or whether should I do that. But it's also often important in Battlerite to also ask questions like, how good were your enemies at dodging your skill shots? Or like, were your enemies too aggressively coming after you? These questions are important because you have to make the right choices of Battlerites in between each round, and these questions will help you to make the right choice. If your enemies are the type who cannot dodge your skill shots, it is often a good idea to pick the Battlerites which increase the offensiveness or the damage of your skills. And if they like to chase you all over the place, taking the Battlerite that will help you to survive is also a good idea. My fifth and final tip for you guys would be to watch your own replays and to criticize your own plays. This tip is really for those who really want to improve in a very short amount of time. Because the only thing that stays the same in all your matches is yourself. You know, you'll have different teammates and different enemies each round. Take some time and analyze some of your plays and diligently find all the mistakes that you made and correct them. You'll quickly find that you're winning more and more games. What's nice about the Battlerite client is that it comes with a built-in feature that allows you to watch your own replays, and even in slow motion. So this will definitely help you when you're trying to analyze those really tiny details and correct them in your gameplay in the future. And so that's it for my 5 beginner tips video guys, and I hope you enjoyed watching the video. I'm actually currently working on a guide for the champion Jade, and that video will be the first of my series of guides for each of the champions on Battlerite. I've created a poll that you can access by clicking on the I button at the top right to vote on which Battlerite champion guide you would like to see next after Jade's. As some of you may know, Battlefield 1 and Civilization 6 is coming out this week, and I'll be producing videos on those two games as well, in addition to the videos that I'll be creating for Battlerite. So thank you guys again for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and also share it with your friends. I will greatly appreciate all of your support, as well as all the constructive criticism that you can leave in the comment section below. That's all I have left to say, and so I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.